Happy New Year, guys. Welcome to Crypto EMC. For those that are new, my name is Rudo. I'm a full-time stay-at-home crypto trader. Okay, so let's talk about the big picture for this year. I'm throwing out big terms out of there. Bitcoin's getting ready for 2025 bull season. I'm going to show you why. And also, I believe that alt season is upon us. So, you interested? Stay tuned. If you're a regular, say hi. Welcome back, Dave, Syed, Eltek, Rune, Garth, and Stanku, and everybody else that's joining in. Hello, finally live here. Well, thanks for joining. It's nice to have you here. Firestorm also dropping in now. How's it, buddy? Okay, so let's talk about the large picture, 2025 Bitcoin. And my camera is a little hazy. Apologize. I didn't check everything before I went live. So it is what it is. That's the thing about going live. Okay, so let's just quickly take a quick look. And what I want to do is I actually don't want to look at this chart real quick. I want to bring your attention to this chart. Now, these are some of the squibbles I did for the guys in the Discord. So let me just remove that. And the important thing that we're moving in now is the fact that we've now on the monthly time frame built a demand zone. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, it's nothing other than when we did something like this in the past, when we didn't quite do it there at the top, but we did something like that there, and vice versa. So when we build demand, it basically gives us a signal that somewhere in the future, we will potentially come back and test that area. And in cases like this, it could potentially be a scenario that because we built a new demand zone, this is going to be where the next bull market or bear market bottom will be. Now, I struggle with the term saying Bitcoin goes into a bear market, because if you look at Bitcoin's price and its adoption over the years, where is the bear market, in my opinion? So the fact that you do have these retraces is a necessary. Everything does have a way of getting over exaggerated to one side, so the market overcorrects itself, and that's why you have these waves. Thank goodness for waves, otherwise it would be very boring, just a simple line. But in the end of the day, so we haven't really had a bear market. So the key now is once we build a demand zone, we don't want to see price fall below that again, because if it does, that invalidates bull market. So I'm saying 2025, and I'm keeping it very simple. I'm saying 2025 bull market would fall below this demand zone, okay, then I'm going to change my mind, and only then I'll change my mind. So whatever bad news is going to be coming our way or could potentially come our way, it's irrelevant to the bigger trend for me for now. Once I see us losing a big demand zone, that's when I would start panicking. Okay, so simple as that. Now, timing wise, if we look at this from a timing perspective, you guys should know this fib by now. It's the time-based fib. So we're trying to predict where the future or the end of the bull cycle is going to happen. Okay, and the tool that I use is the 0, the 38 to the 618. Okay, now what I do is with the chart laid out like this, very simple, when we look at pricing or Bitcoin's price between halvings, we know that between two halvings, that's normally when there's a bull cycle, a minor capitulation, and then the minor sell off, and vice versa. So you get that scenario where there's a bull cycle for the alts. There's an alt season in between the halvings, and that's why everybody's so enthusiastically buying these alts, because between these two halvings, when there's an alt season, that's when you really get the insane multipliers. Now, if we try and time that, and I use my time fib on this, so I'm just using it from the halving to the next halving, you'll find that the top is around the 38.2 and the bottom's around the 618 between the halving, between the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. Now, if I do the same with the second halving, okay, top to bottom, and if I do the same for the third halving, top to bottom. So it's fair to assume where we are now, if we're moving into we've not just had our fourth halving, going into our fifth halving, the top should be somewhere around October this year, and the bottom should only be by September next year. So that is still far away down the line. So it is fine for us to have a really far horizon when we look at some of these coins. And I'm going to be sharing a couple of coins I think that we need to keep an eye on and start actually accumulating for this year. Okay, so it's as simple as that. You don't need to overanalyze the market, because if you're trying to predict with the extent of where each and every wick is, then you're trading, you're no longer hodling, and you're no longer building a hodling portfolio. And that's not what the stream or the reason behind the stream is. Okay, now layering this over and start looking at the dominance is easiest way to see when the alt season is really going to start picking up. And if you look at this, I'm going to just line them up for you so you guys can see. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, once we pass the halving and Bitcoin starts going into all-time high season, starts building demand zones, moving, that's when you start seeing a dominance sell off. And you can see that that's a violent move. So it means that it's for a short period of time, the alts do well, not for a long period of time, which means if we're going to, like we did with Cardano and some of the other coins, was it take profit when it was really, really highly valuated. It is something that you need to remember, that when you're in on these projects, please don't think that you need to sit on them forever. Rather try and cycle onto new ones, because it's a short-lived period of time. And although we have a time limit, say October for an alt season top or a bull market top, we know that it's extremely hard to sell top. So if you have a plan to take profit as we go, it's much easier than trying to time the top. Okay, and where we are now, we are starting to do the same with the dominance again. So we have not really broken any trends. There's not really a big picture trend that I can draw, but we are starting in that same zone between the middle of the blue range. So if I were to use this time fib, just to give you a line, it's the 0.17. Okay, there around, that's when alt season kind of kicks in. Okay, so if that is the case, we're right in that area. So we're looking for the dominance to start selling off. Okay, now the rule is tops will always look bullish. So why sell? That's the hard part. And bottoms will always look bearish. That's the reason why the majority people don't buy tops and bottoms, although that is what they're after. They never get it right, because once it's a good bottom, it will always look like there's a potential for more, and the same with the top. So just a little reminder, just to keep your mind in check, because it will run away with you once we start seeing those multipliers. Okay, so that's the whole picture for Bitcoin on this. So for me, I don't want to see price go below $89,000. Okay, realistically, there is precedent for us to go to 71 but typically I don't want to see us $91,000. I don't want to see us go below that, because then we're really now setting up for more waves and corrections, and we're going to spend more time. And it's going to kind of break against the spirit that the market now needs to move. Bull market needs to be bullish. It's simple as that. We need to start going. Okay, so that's that. Now let's quickly go and have a look at the monthly in its simplest form. Okay. The important thing about this demand zone that I've got here, so it's still Bitcoin demand zone area, is that when you have a demand zone that is built like this, so let me just draw it out for you guys again, top of the body of the candle to the bottom of the wick. That's how you indicate the demand zone. Okay, so when you have something like that, the market will be unsure of itself until we either go above this or go below this. So while we're in this area, this is now for the smaller time frames, expect the market to be choppy. So whatever you do, you need to have enough meat built into whatever you buy, between where you buy and your stop limit, just to absorb the fact that Bitcoin can chop you up in this area before it goes. Okay, and it's only once it's there we're going to have that very simple clean picture where it just runs in one direction, and it becomes easier. Okay, so just remember that. And the same then obviously for when we fall below that. Okay, now if we try and look at where supply and demand is going to kick in to try and identify how the market's going to move within these areas, I've got the Bitcoin chart open again with my supply and my demand raise. And as I explained to you guys way back, I was expecting that we're going to be grinding like an option A. Now, what have we done? We've done that. We've chopped like an option A. Now, here's the tough part. I want to see a shallow retrace within the market. Okay, taking this back to this simple picture, shallow retrace, 91 max. Okay, that's it. Not lower than that. I don't want to see this thing go anywhere below that, because then it is going to completely break the bulls back. You know, you can't always just say, well, it needs to flush more people. If it keeps on flushing everybody out of the market, you know, you're never going to get anywhere. So somewhere there has to be a winning side now for this thing to really get momentum. Okay, so I want to see the bulls win now. Okay, so that's the idea. So if we look at this price action for BTC, what do I want to see? Okay, I don't want to see us fall below 91. Okay, so let's quickly mark $91,000 on the chart there. Oops, 91. And I want to use whatever pullback I have between where we are now at 102 and 91, how low it will go, to buy some of these alts that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. It's as simple as that, because we know that Bitcoin is the rising tide that rises all the ships. Okay, Bitcoin goes up, coins will typically do well. Bitcoin goes down, altcoins will typically, you know, retrace as well, with the exception of a few ones here and there. Okay, simple as that. There you have it. Okay, guys, so over to the comments. Let's quickly see where you guys are at. About 200 people joining in live. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and tell me what you're hodling. What's your bags? Let's have a look at your bags a little bit later during the stream today. Okay, Saeed saying great advice. Remember, I cannot give any advice, guys. I'm merely sharing what I've learned and through my experience trading and investing in crypto full-time. It's simple as that. Okay, what worked for me. Different strokes, different folks. Let's see. Paul says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. And Dennis has joined after a long time. Yes, buddy. Thanks for coming back. And hello, Jerry. Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. Okay. All right, guys. So let's take this information now, and we've got a little bit of an idea. So long term, I'm seeing us bullish. There's a clear line in the sand, $91,000. I don't want to see Bitcoin go below that. Okay. So I'm going to be bullish regardless of what Bitcoin does in this area. However it wants to move, just as long as it stays above that line. Until then, that is the bias I'm going to go with. Okay, simple as that. Let's head over to our altcoins. So Ethereum. This was the buy zone for Ethereum. So I'm going to just scale the time frame up for Ethereum so you guys can have a look at this. So the argument was that I'm expecting Ethereum, and maybe let's just switch off the buddy indicator just to speed things up a little bit. Okay, so I was expecting Ethereum to push a little bit higher, go into this zone so that I can sell some should I want to. Okay, so here's the real honest truth, guys. I don't get everything right every time. It's simple as that. Okay, it's about trying to be consistent. That's the strongest force out there. Okay, so I wanted to sell within that area. ETH never gave me that opportunity. And the argument that was the only condition that I would feel like ETH really deserves me being bearish, being selling something. Okay, and when it moved back, I explained to you guys that this is the buy zone. Why? Because this was the previous area where there was resistance, so it needs to turn it into support. And you might see that the market does have this crazy notion to just test your resolve within buying at specific areas, so it will shake you out in some cases. Okay, which it did. Okay, now we're in an imbalance area. So what does it mean? Okay, imbalance area for Ethereum is simple, and it's going to be the same for a lot of the other alts. Okay, this move came too quick. Okay, so there's still people that did sell there that still have, some unfinished business with the market. So when price moves back to that price bracket, they're going to continue on with their mission to sell. Okay, that's what this means. And it means that because the market does this always, it's that's one of the beauties about the market. It's always looks different, but always does the same thing. It means that you can utilize this area. Say maybe you bought Ethereum late and you're underwater. You can utilize this to sell some of that Ethereum. Not all of it. Say sell half of it. With the argument that if you're right by selling, price will go and test this buy zone, this demand area, and you can buy back. And if you look at this just just looking at it from an estimate, okay, between there, where it's at now and where it's going to potentially go to, you're smack in the middle. So whatever drawdown you'll have, you'll probably be able to make it up, not necessarily by having more dollars, but by having more Ethereum the next time we get to this area, so that you're at break even. So that's how you can you can farm yourself out of a bad performing position. Okay, simple as that. And if you're wrong, it will go higher, and then it will come and test this area again. So even if you sell and it does go higher, you will have the opportunity to buy back right there. That's what this imbalance means. It's just an area where the market's going to want to pivot around, and you can time and wait for that around that area. So that's the picture for ETH. Once this is done, once we have this area, ETH 5,000, 6,000, maybe even 15,000 this cycle round, the market has a way of being extremely unrational in the way that it's going to give you these gains. That's why it's short-lived. So be excited. It's going to be nice, but just be careful, that's it. Okay, so that's Ethereum. Now, we did the same for Cardano. Let's quickly have a look at Cardano. So Cardano did go to the sell zone. I explained that it's going to bounce there, it's going to hit resistance, and ultimately this is the area where I expected Cardano to go into a buy zone, taking back that was our previous buy. So we've navigated this quite successfully. Being where it's at, there's a little imbalance there, saying it where it's at right now. So if you bought your ADA here and you want to farm for a little bit, sell maybe 20, 25% of your Cardano here and wait for it to come back to this area, because it's going to want to try and test that 95-cent zone. And from that point onwards, you're off to the races. That's the whole play. Okay. Right. The same is going to play out for Bitcoin Cash. There's these gaps there. So expect Bitcoin Cash to try and push up a little bit higher to at least 500, then come back and test this upper range at 450. This was the buy zone, as I shared before the year, with you guys. So important thing that you can play around with a little bit. Or if you're in a situation where you say, well, Bitcoin Cash is not as hot potato as the other coins that I'm going to share with you now, you can use the fact that it's in this area as an excuse to sell some, to take that cash and spend them on these new projects that I want to share with you guys. Okay, so let's quickly see. Trump 2024 Save America says, hello from Texas. Giddy up altcoins. Yes. Hello, buddy. So let's have a look at the legacy market, because obviously Trump pump created a lot. Everybody, use that as an excuse just before this December, before Christmas, actually. And as I always say, guys, remember, news is a lubricant. It's not a driving force. Whenever have you read an article and then ran to your computer and bought something because of that article? I've never done that. And so it doesn't work that way. But when the right news comes, it creates momentum for whatever move is happening at the moment. And people will then latch onto that momentum and then buy the top of that. That's typically how this will work. Okay, so Trump pump, we went to 108. And then kind of thing. So yeah, news is exciting. It's a necessary evil we need to have. Fuel in the fire, bring more people in. But it's just something to keep in the back of your head. Now, legacy markets, the best way that I can kind of see how the news is going to move is by looking at the Dixie for me. The Dixie tells me typically whether the sentiment is to take a risk or to preserve capital or gains. Okay, simple. If I were to zoom out, I'm just going to remove the RSI real quick. I'll leave the squibbles on there for us to discuss. Okay, I had internet lapse there. Peter, is everything good? Okay, now it's saying I'm stable again. Okay, let's see. While we wait for that, Shahid is asking Banry, CAW protocol. What else? Question: if you had 100K for one trade from now until March, what coin would you choose? Stanley, that's actually an interesting question. I think we need to discuss that at the end. And then Dreamcatcher say, Everybody, I'm bearish but willing to switch. Okay. All right, my friend. So let's see. Maybe I say the right things and then I'll switch you around because I'm bullish. I'm really bullish. This is going to be a big year for us. Okay, so the important thing with sentiment, let's get back to track. Okay, I'm talking about the Dixie. When you see Bitcoin at all-time highs, okay, that's when the Dixie is coming off a low. Now, remember the market cap was quite small for crypto. So in 2013, the Dixie didn't need to sell off that much, okay, meaning people were running to the dollar, okay, fleeing the dollar, okay. And then what happens? What happens? When Bitcoin reaches a low, everybody's selling. The Dixie goes up in demand. More people looking for stable. That's how you start tracking out where bear bottom is or Bitcoin retrace, okay? And it's true for 2017. When we look at the high, it's around the bottom, okay? And if we look at where a low was, it's around the top of the Dixie. And you can see the Dixie was actually range bound in that environment. And then the previous bull cycle was amazing as well. What happened was Bitcoin the Dixie went from the upper end of the range to the lower end of the range. So within that short period of time, we had an entire bull market within crypto. And then the bear market was horrendous. We really felt it because look at what the Dixie did. Okay. It went and made a higher high. Horrible. Okay. And now it's bouncing and testing. So where we're at with the Dixie, okay, we're at the upper end of a range and we're in an imbalance zone. Okay. Just like I explained with Ethereum and Cardano, two plausible areas where we are now. Okay. The Dixie can push up higher. Okay. That will reinforce the scenario that Bitcoin goes maybe to $71,000, fills the gap, chops around for a longer period of time. And it means that we've kind of maybe reached the extent of where this bull cycle is going to bring Bitcoin to. And within that area, we might see the alt still rally. Okay. Because remember, alt season happens when Bitcoin loses momentum. Not necessarily bearish, just loses momentum. Doesn't go for any further. People change their mind now. Not looking at Bitcoin anymore, they start looking at the other alts. Okay, that's that scenario. Alternative is that and we'll have a second opportunity to capitalize on that as well, because what will happen is it will go and retest it and then maybe push on higher. And then it's over. Then 71 turns to 40. Bitcoin goes back to $20,000, $30,000. Who knows? We'll take it as it goes level by level. That's the one scenario. The other scenario is because we're in the imbalance, this is the continuation of what? Clearly the reversal that we're hoping for, meaning now I want to see the Dixie move, not just to this level. Think about it. If it were to lose this level and go even lower, how amazing would that be for a bull cycle for us? And all of that needs to be decided within this range where we are now. So we're in that critical point. So the best that I almost can say is pick a side and just stick to it. So if you're bearish, just be bearish, because there's going to be enough bearish signals for you to justify that. If you're bullish, stay bullish, because there will be enough bullish signals to justify that. Once the trend kicks in, we will know who's going to be right. But if you don't have any skin in the game, when it does work, you're out. You're on the sidelines, sitting on your hands, wishing you did better. That's the key here. Not financial advice, guys. Okay, so that's the big thing within the legacy market. Okay, something from Jerry here. I noticed the USDT dominance is a better indicator than the Dixie. I agree and disagree. Jerry, it all depends on your narrative. If you're just looking within Bitcoin or in the crypto ecosystem, I would say the USDT dominance is a better tool to use, correct? But if you're trying to analyze a macro sentiment, I don't just want to look at the crypto market, but I want to see whether the stock markets are bullish as well. The NASDAQ, the tech stocks are bullish, and because all of those will create wealth. And when there's somebody that's got free money, they will look further for greener pastures. Where else can I go and make money? Simple as that. And that's how people or fresh money will migrate from the legacy side, which you know is a millions of millions of times bigger than the crypto market in market capitalization. So when that fund is going to move over. So if they have a reason to jump ship or have a reason to be bullish, that's an even more powerful indicator for me. That's why I'm using the Dixie. Hope it makes sense. Let me know in the comments. Okay. So let's go and have a look at some of the alts. Now, when we have a look at this now, so I'm saying Bitcoin's bullish. I'm saying that Dixie at this stage is a little confusing because we're in that imbalance area, and I want to see the retrace happen. Now, the hope is that we'll see that by the mid of January. It's in a week from now, so then we'll know. And then at that stage, I want to see a strong trend for Bitcoin, and I want to start seeing this dominance breakdown, which at this stage, it does look really good. This is analysis I did really quickly with everybody in the Discord yesterday. And the dominance does look good. We know we had a high, we had divergence, we sold off. Now we've not made a higher high. We're still in that resistive area. There's potential that it's going to bounce at 55 still and chop around a little bit. But yo, let's try again. Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello. Okay, I'm back. It seems to be okay now. Yeah, Frogfoot. I don't have Frogfoot, but my internet, as soon as I go live, problem there. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's get back to point. It's the beginning of the year. The internet's still on holiday. It seems like that. To get back to this, I want to start seeing a bearish trend emerge for the dominance. It's not there yet, but we're in the right area of consolidation. This is the first time that we broke trend, fell into the previous trading range. Okay. Yes, we had a knee-jerk reaction, which is true. The trend has been bullish for a long period of time. I want to see us fall below this and then start trading down. And then our alts will, in general, do well. Now, this is then going to create a scenario where you almost don't need to be responsible because anything you buy will pretty much go up. Just the key is you need to be able to sell. That's the trick here, guys. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to try and buy strong narratives. So let's have a look at a couple of narratives. So I'm going to deviate away from these kind of charts now. And before I do, quick reminder, video is brought to you by Bybit, guys. You can support the content. You can support whatever I'm doing within this YouTube channel by just opening your own Bybit account and trading your and buying your crypto coins on the Bybit platform using my partner link. There will be additional deposit rewards and bonuses if you do so. And lastly, you'll also get access to my buddy indicator, really powerful trading indicator, and all that information is available in the Discord. Okay, the Discord is not a chatty Discord, so you won't be able to join in and chat amongst yourselves. You're going to have to join the private groups. That's where the chatting happens. But in short, everything has been labeled in a way that you can navigate through Discord quite easily. So there is everything with the Bybit bot. Okay, simple as that. Let's get back onto point. Okay, so the coins that I want to look at, the narratives that I think is really going to be strong at the moment, and we've looked at this a while ago, and the first one is ordinals. With Bitcoin doing really well and Bitcoin going to push, your ordinals are going to start kicking in. So let's go on the higher time frame and just look at this. Okay, so this was the area that I wanted to buy RUNE. Okay, it didn't get there. It went a little bit higher. That was the buy zone for that. And this was the action zone. The action zone meaning the imbalance that I was talking about, meaning that whoever didn't take profit here when we looked at taking profit last year, March, okay, this was the area to sell and buy back if it holds. So now you're in that area to buy back. Okay, little below that. Obviously, a little bit more structure, ain't it? And this was the buy zone I shared with everybody within the lows last year, looking for where we are now. So runes are looking really good. Now, where we're at, you can clearly see there's a simple support zone where we're there. So now is a really good time to get in on runes if you want to try and get in on that ordinal magic. Okay, simple as that. Okay, MUBI, let's have a look at MUBI. So brought it to you guys quite early, and we didn't have a lot of data at that stage. I wanted to buy there and it failed. Okay, so buy zone failed. Remember, I said I do get stuff wrong. That's why there's risk management and strategies here. So what if you're wrong? And the argument was, when we get to the zone, sell. Now, yet again, 2 for 2 on this one. Didn't quite get there, but got close enough. So where it's at now, we're building a base. This is a really good sign, because as long as we're going to go sideways like that, once we break up, this is going to push up into this area here at around 10 cents. It's a psychological barrier as well, purely because the number itself. So there's a lot of gains to be had there. And I would consider putting some money in there. It's as cheap as it needs to be, because if it falls below these lows, you're going to change your mind. Okay, that's simple as that. You're gonna be able to get out. Let's rather use that. Then ORDI. This is the buy zone for ORDI. It's still in the buy zone. The longer it chops like this, guys, the better. The bigger the next push is going to be. So you haven't missed the bus. ORDI is still golden. Okay, and let's maybe do one more. Let's do orange. Okay. Same thing. Okay, this was the original buy. It failed. Okay, went lower still. Okay, and where we're at now, we're testing that area. We're testing that demand. So this one is in the buy zone that I wanted to see RUNE go into. Okay, fall below that, yes, then it's bad. Then this is going to go price discovery a little bit lower. So Bitcoin loses 91, okay, and goes to 70. This is going to definitely go into the scary area. So that's the risk you need to manage. Bitcoin holds 91 and keeps on pushing higher. This is as low as it could potentially go. Doesn't mean it will pump. It could chop around here for forever. But once it starts getting its moves, you're going to start picking up your multipliers. And it's going to be quick and easy, simple. Once you double your money, you sell half. This is a free project you're holding for the rest of the bull cycle, and you can look to the new projects. Simple as that. Okay. Another area that I want to talk now. We all know memes are crazy. Memes are still doing well and strong. I just don't feel nice. I want to make money there, but I don't really call it an investment area for myself, you know. So I'm going to skip on memes for today. We're going to do memes on Thursday, but what I want to bring to your attention is deepen AI. Okay, now AI is a really big thing. I think it's going to be a really hot narrative. It's buzzing at the moment on crypto Twitter. You hear everybody talking AIs and so if there's a lot of hype and buzz behind it, obviously new eyes are going to fall on it. Money's going to look for it. And if we're early enough on these projects, we'll be able to get the gains before everybody else does. The golden rule is always double your money, sell half, let the rest ride. Okay. So let's have a look at the first one, WorldCoin. Okay, so this was the original area that I wanted to buy. Went a little bit lower. We're stepping up in support levels. Okay, so WorldCoin has for me a clearly defined area where I want to say if it falls below this area, I will invalidate being bullish on this. Okay, so where we are now, we're filling this imbalance. Expect selling pressure to happen there, and expect price to go and test this range here. So I don't think it's going to go back down to $2. From this point onwards, we've had a long accumulation. Minimum targets at least go to $4. Double your money, sell half, let the rest ride. There's still a lot of gains to be had. This will turn into a flat line eventually once we reach bull market top. It's just the nature of what a bull cycle will do to coins like this. Okay, simple as that. So I just want to get in that first cycle, get the money out, cover my ass, and then go on. Next one, ZEREBRO. Okay, however you would say this. Daily time frame, it's still quite new. Daily time frame's got a lot of hype, a lot of potential behind it, a lot of big promises behind it. Okay, go and read up on this. I'm not going to go into the fundamentals with you guys now. Support resistance levels, it's had an accumulation, broke through. It's trying to lock in whether this 40 cent is support. So it is as cheap as it could potentially be from a risk to reward ratio. So keep an eye on this one, okay, guys. And then from that point onwards, I want to see whether this is going to establish a trend, okay? A trend is a simple line on the screen that makes everybody feel good once it's still there, and everybody is willing to move it down lower if it breaks. So don't use it as a bias to act, but understand that that is a nice tool to track momentum, guys. Okay, so it's in the buy zone. I'm going to grab some. And the argument is I want to see this thing go and double my money. So if it goes to this supply zone or close to the supply zone, I will be selling half, let the rest ride. Okay. Here's another one that is new on Bybit. Okay. There's not a lot of TA on this. Now, typically when you come across projects like this that are new, I don't buy them. Okay. So why the hell do I waste your time showing you something that I don't buy? It's not enough structure for me to manage the risk. So there's two ways you could probably do this. If you want to buy, you can say, okay, right, how much money would I lose on a normal trade? Say $200. Take $200 and throw it in there and just be done with it. So this thing needs to go to zero for you to lose the $200. So you cannot lose. Okay. But $200 probably won't be enough for you to, retire, or if we all want to retire with one buy. But so you won't be making a killing on this thing, and it needs to go up 1,000,000% for $200 to turn into something worthwhile. Okay, so what I do is it launches. I'll wait a week or two. Okay, this is the second day. This thing can do this now. After it's created a little bit of a sideways price action, like I used on the previous one, that's when I'll look to buy in. Meaning, let's go back to this one. We here now. It will probably chop around, create a structure. Then I can use demand to try and look for the buy, or wait for this thing to break through that structure. Prove to me it's bullish. Then I can buy on the retest, okay? But it's something that I'm going to definitely be throwing my money in and keeping an eye on the performance with you guys, okay? Then if we go over to more deep, this is now infrastructure for AI, okay? We've had Prime. Now, Prime has performed extremely well. So let's zoom into the weekly time frame. I brought Prime to you guys way, way, way back, okay? Got a nice sell out of it. And this was the area that I wanted to buy. I charted this on this side of the mark on this chart. So there's the buy zone as it was. So Prime is sitting pretty at the moment. First time it's creating a little bit of a divergence. So if you're late to the party, it doesn't mean that I'm bearish on Prime. It just means that this is now the area where I would say don't fall below this. Okay. Prime goes below this, momentum will start getting lost. Okay. Now we can probably tweak this and use that area there. So say $14 for Prime. Go below that, then it's going to go bad. Okay. So if you want to get in on this, between where it's at now and here, anywhere there can be considered a buy zone to grab some for the bigger picture, meaning go make a higher high and go. Keep in mind, you're getting it at 15. Once you hit 30, sell half and let the rest ride. Okay. Now, there's a few other coins in the same area. Akash, looking quite similar if you think about this. This is on the, I think it was, I got Akash, sure. I bought it when it, in the previous cycle on an exchange that's name doesn't even exist. And I still have that coins there. I need to go and check that out. But in short, this one is starting to go through the emotional market cycle. It created a high. It had divergence. Okay. If you look at that, had divergence. Everything is in check. Okay. Let's just do that. Okay. The wave played out. It created hidden bullish divergence. Okay. It's on its way. Okay. So test the range where I want you to buy the other coins or consider buying the other coins, not financial advice. So it's on its way. And now I want to see this thing break through these highs and move up and start claiming new all-time highs. Okay. Now, here's a few new ones. Any one protocol. I don't know anything about any one protocol, but it's got a big hype and a buzz behind it. So the trader in me is saying, well, if there's going to be people wanting to buy this, let's see where they're going to lose. And maybe I can get in on this. Okay, so structurally, let's have a look at the lateral ranges, sideways range. Okay, then what did we have? We had a breakout, created demand, tested that, and where did we hit resistance? It's at resistance now. So same thing as a gosh. Come back down. That's the area that I'm considering grabbing this. Okay. Well, double your money, sell half, let the rest ride. Okay. How much time do you have? 40 minutes in, guys. Now I still want to talk to you guys about there's utility tokens, coins like NACA, CSIX, GHX, and so forth. So I'll do another stream tomorrow. We can dive into that. And if you want the information earlier and in more depth and more coins, join my Discord, because I will be dropping a video for those guys with all the other coins that I've kind of pulled together. It's too much. It's going to be like a 3-hour video if I were to do it on YouTube with you guys. Okay, let's head over to your comments, and then we're going to end off the stream. Let's quickly, I'm going to start at the bottom. Let's see. Yes, it's AI is a very hot narrative. Let's have a look. RUNE, it has never tested previous highs, all-time cycle. Many others have. How can this not be seen as weakness? Okay, it's a fair point, Stanley. Let's do this. Let's have a look at XR. Well, no, let's look at RUNE, and I'll just explain to you guys what my thought is around this. Okay. Now, where did I hide RUNE for myself? Okay. Let's go monthly time frame. This is now Bybit, so it won't have all the data on. Okay, but there's 2022. Okay, so where we're at now is we've had a long accumulation. Okay, there. We had price break through that accumulation. Effort versus result. Check. So all that did what it needed to do. I'm happy. And what did we do? We came back down and tested that area at $2. Sign of strength. So from this point onwards, from a pure cyclical point of view, we just get this right area there. This one. I think it's this one. From a pure cyclical point of view, we're there. And the markup effect is going to happen. So you can argue it's weak because it didn't quite do that just yet. But I'm arguing it's on its way to do that. Who's going to be right? I don't know. I'm not trying to be right. I'm just saying for me, there's a potential on making some money there. Okay. Hope that is it's as simple as I could probably explain this, and we'll take it from there. Now, XRP, the argument with XRP was that XRP in the previous bull market didn't make a higher high, although other coins did. And I didn't quite like that. But look at where XRP is now. Okay. See? Shoe in mouth. That's it. So it doesn't mean that it's going to do it now, but look at where XRP is going. It's pushing $2.42. The lawsuit's behind it. I think XRP went to about $3 in 2017. Okay. So it took time for the accumulation to take effect. Does this mean that this is the fair value for where XRP is? Hell no, definitely not. Because any of these insane moves will get followed by a retrace some stage. Just give it enough time. This is not maintainable and a fair valuation of price. Simple as that. Okay, so that's basically what I'm trying to play at, Stanley. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, internet sucks a little bit. See, there's a few more requests. Tell me which coin to buy for 100K until March, and I'll buy you stock. But yeah, I've got a really fast internet. Sometimes it's just a roll of the dice. As soon as I go live, this shit happens. Okay, so it's one of those things. Look, there's no guarantees. I wish I could just give you that answer and say this is the one, because then I would buy that one with all my money and just buy that one. The reality is diversify. I know it was a joke, but just in general terms, diversify within the strong narratives. I've shared a few coins within the AI infrastructure narratives. There's many of them. If you can always diversify within 5 projects per narrative, so 5 meme coins, 5 layer ones, 5 gaming coins, 5, you know, or 666, and it depends on how many, you know, how wide you want to spread it. You'll have a really good chance at beating the market consistently. And that's all you want to try and do. Okay. Let's see what else we have. I see Stanko's asking about MYRIA. Okay, let's have a look at MYRIA real quick. So I'm gonna go over to this side. And this is something that I shared with everybody in the Discord. So this is the rebalance zone, meaning the reinvestment zone, okay, where it's at now. And there's an additional fib that you can apply to that, and that's the 887. So it is there. I've already got the 887 in there. Okay, so that's in the right zone. So where it's at now, it is in this kind of environment. So where did I hide? You know, I went on holiday. Now I'm rusty as well. There. It's in this environment. Okay. So you might, if you bought anywhere here, you will be angry, pissed off about the project, tired of it. And it's in the right area where accumulation happens. And then there will be another markup phase and potentially, hopefully, a higher high. So where it's at now is a really good area if you love the project to grab some, if you understand why you want it. And even from a risk to reward ratio, just technical analysis, nothing else, it's in a really good area, because if you grab it right now, you've got a clear area of invalidation. Where? There. This was the last time this thing gone through an accumulation phase. And now this is the new accumulation phase. Fall below this level or into this, it's not accumulation. This is this redistribution. And then it's just going to go price discovery a little lower. So you're going to buy this. And as soon as you buy something, you're bringing on risk to your portfolio. This is the cheapest time for that risk because it's close to the invalidation. Simple as that. And then from that point onwards, double your money, sell half, and let the rest ride, because there's still a lot that's going to happen. I mean, this hasn't seen a bull cycle just yet. Okay. It still needs a proper bull market, which means it will turn this into a flat line, hopefully. Okay. 47 minutes in, 400 people joining in live. Thanks so much, guys. This is the first stream for the year. We had our issues with internet, bad camera lighting, and everything like that. I'll be back consistently from this point on forward, both here and in the Discord. Tomorrow is live trading day, so I'll be trading live with everybody within the Discord. This is the setup I shared with everybody in the morning. The thesis being, whatever you do, put your analysis down and then buy your stop. And funny enough, it's just the nature of the market. There's not enough participants at this moment, so we're the majority. So when you're trading, whatever you're looking at, you're saying it shouldn't go below that. It's definitely just going to go below that line, and then do whatever you wanted to do. And so it has been proving quite successful for me for today. The same for Bitcoin. So this was the Bitcoin idea this morning. Looking at price to still go a little bit lower. I didn't get a Bitcoin entry, and the idea was that there would be, if we wanted to be bullish, there would be a really good area for Bitcoin to remain bullish there. But yeah, didn't give me a signal to enter on, and that's it. So still waiting. And gaps like these, imbalances, you know the way that works. It's going to try and fill this imbalance before we continue onwards. So expect from a trading point of view, the punishment to continue on a little bit longer, maybe say till middle tomorrow. And then from that point onwards, we'll be bullish and rallying strong as well. Okay. So that's it. Cheers, guys. Thanks for taking the time. I'll definitely work to get in a few more of your guys' requests onto the next streams. And for the rest of you guys, I'll see you in the Discord live tomorrow, and I'll be back on Thursday with another stream for you guys. Then we're going to be looking at a few more coins. I'm not in a hurry to grab them, because bigger picture time frames like weekly and monthly is never something that you need to do on on a heartbeat. You can be patient with these kind of a large time frame analysis. That's what makes it so beautiful and so easy, because if you're patient with the right timing with this, you're going to be way more successful. So thanks so much. Cheers, everybody, and see you again soon.